So I'm getting these mad messages from my DMs and social media and on my comments. And I randomly get a text message talking about a recent video that was posted in my account. I was like, what are y'all talking about? By the way, I'm sick, so if I sound weird, yeah. I get threats daily on IG and everywhere all over my social media all of a sudden due to an old video I posted months ago about Iran. That was not to be a threat. It was literally a joke, bro. Like, seriously, it's just content. Anyways, once I seen that video that was posted in my account, then I was like, what the fuck? Well, didn't I post this like months ago? Then I seen the caption, and then I was like, wait, I didn't do that. I still got the video saved on my draft from months ago on TikTok, bro. I'm gonna pull it up right here. Now, here's the fucked up part. The federal government is involved for something that I didn't do. Like, what? So this is what they reposted off my TikTok. That video got taken down. So here's what they reposted on their page. Now that video is going crazy as hell on Twitter, bro. Now I'm a threat to the government with something that I didn't do, bro. Now I'm being called a wannabe YN, a wannabe gangster over a video that I didn't caption or I didn't post. So thanks for my followers for letting me know about this, because seriously, this is getting out of hand. Like, literally, this is going crazy, viral all over social media right now. Probably might end up being on the news, bro. So my apologies for that contradiction and rumors from happening. I know my First Amendment, but I did not post that video. So to clear that out, I did not post that video, and I apologize for all the rumors that is going around right now on social media about this conflict. And those other kids that was on the video, bro, they volunteered to want to be on the video, bro. I asked them if they wanted to be on the video, and then they said, yeah, they agreed with it. But they wasn't really aware with the caption for the Iran video. But that Iran video trend that was going on a few months ago, I wanted to hop on that trend, and I peeped a lot of people was doing the same thing too. So I wanted to be creative and change my perspective. So then I seen comments saying, oh, what if somebody made a YN type of video? So then I ended up making that video. And then I started getting threats. Like, what? How is it my fault that's what y'all wanted?
This is crazy. The official Homeland Security account posted a fake edited TikTok where this guy's claiming he's going to go after ICE because there's a massive bounty on them. So the TikTok says, ICE, we're on the way. Word in the streets is cartels put a 50K bounty on y'all. They say FAFO. If you threaten or lay hands on our law enforcement officers, we will hunt you down and you will find out real quick. We'll see you cowards soon. But they didn't take the time to do some basic research and see that video they posted is actually fake. The original one says, you've seen what we can do. Don't start something that you can't finish. We already united, we stand, we want all the smoke. We've got official government accounts posting altered videos to stir up fear and anger. That's not just sloppy or an innocent mistake, that is straight up propaganda. They took a completely unrelated video of innocent black kids and used it to push a false narrative about threats against ICE. That's dangerous. They're fueling racial tension, spreading misinformation, and weaponizing government communication against the public. They're not posting any verified intelligence, they're posting fear-based content to rally up their base. That's all they care about. I really hope they don't follow up on their plans and go kidnap these innocent people because they didn't say anything about going after ICE whatsoever.
Welcome back to Breakdown Friday. Joseph Ward, Patrick Irvin, Professor Carl Tone Jones. We back up in the building. You know how we do it, man. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I got my sounds and I'm going to use my sounds. You heard me. And if you don't like that I got sounds, guess what? Everybody you know, even your toenails, all right? Down to you. Hey, so happy Friday. We are here to break down this video. First and foremost, you know, young man, your ass got to be smart. you kind of you can, young man, you set yourself up. You set yourself up. Like, yeah, that was, if ain't nobody told you, we gonna tell your ass tonight that was dumb. All right, that's just the beginning. But that video, even though what he did was dumb and he kind of set himself up, it's the tip of the iceberg of a growing issue with Black people in America, where they're being targeted and their likeness is being used in deep fakes. And deep fakes are those fake AI generated videos that uses somebody else's likeness, and it's putting Black people in bad situations and getting their life threatened. And you know, PC is always talking about we're at war. He's been telling us that. He always tell us we're at war. Tell us that every day we're at war. There's war on another front, but it's still war nevertheless. It's war. And when we talk about the 9 areas of human activity, this is war within the entertainment area. If you want to go like that, right? Because you're using through social media, but nevertheless, it's war again. So it's us looking at this, breaking it down, and thinking ahead of how we can better protect ourselves moving forward, and better, and how we can better move forward, because people have access to our information via the internet, period. So we could be cyber whatever. Like Pat, you got the word for it, but whatever's cyber, I'm gonna say cyber fucked up, because I don't know the technical words. You can be cyber fucked up, you know, in this day and age, and not even know it, you know, on top of all the scamming and everything. But how does it negatively affect Black people moving forward like this? Will you find Black people that are put in dangerous situations, lives being threatened because people thought it would be funny to use your likeness in some kind of video? And so once again, this young man, he was Homeland Security responded to a fake video they used his likeness that his dumb ass created, following the trend, going at Iran. And he ended up getting death threats, and then even Homeland Security, like I said, replying to him and saying, "You on FAFO, funk around and find out," right? But it's like, you know, we're gonna get in on Homeland Security. Y'all supposed to be smarter. Like he supposed to be smarter, but y'all supposed to be a whole lot more smarter. Yeah. Or was you a part of it? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna, you know what? I'm hungry. Pat, you hungry? Hungry, Pat? I'm hungry. You hungry?
What's up?
I'm just saying, because I feel like some good home cooking. You hungry?
Oh yeah, you know, I could eat.
Yeah. I feel like some good home cooking. I can eat. I'm just saying, PC, man. We're gonna start with you, my brother, because we hungry, man. We want some good cooking, my brother. So,
all right.
So, what are your thoughts on the young man's video? Him putting himself in there. What are your thoughts on that? But also the response from Homeland Security to his video. Do you think they just so happened to respond to this? Or you think there was a part of this being put out and all that stuff there? So what are your thoughts?
Well, before we get into that, right, and I beg your permission, I'd like to make a short announcement. Yes, right. Y'all pay attention, focus. Fingers getting big too. All right, so pause on that. But anyway, so just real quick, family, we do understand that we're coming up on November 1st. We understand that prior to November 1st, a lot of people are already dealing with food insecurity in our community, especially. And so one of the things that me and a good brother of mine, Suave Gonzalez, at Community College of Philadelphia are doing is we're hosting a food drive. So we're not asking for cash. We're asking for people to donate their time, people to donate canned goods, things of that nature, dry food, non-perishables, and perhaps, you know, if you can't do that, some gift certificates or whatever, so we can stuff, because we're trying to feed. We have a floor of 10 families, but we're trying to feed more because we recognize our students are they're currently struggling right now, and we know the struggle is going to get worse. And we want to help those needy families. Now, this is also, we're not gatekeeping this. This is some stuff you can do in your own neighborhoods and communities, because I do believe we are the answer. food insecurity, as well as a lot of other problems in our community where you shouldn't be dependent on other things. As Huey Newton once said, we don't we have to provide the solutions for our own people, because we can't ask our people to stand up when they're on life support. So we have to be that. And so we're going to be that here in Philadelphia. If you want to reach out to me personally, find me on any of my social media. Also, my email address is Carl, CARL, at the PAX, because we're down with PAX.
Yeah, man.
All right, we're on the board. So at thepax.org, that's PACTS.org. And we'll link up, do whatever we can. If you're in the Philadelphia region, I'll even come to where you are and pick up the items. We're stuffing them in the baskets, and we're also setting tables up in bags so the families can get some help around this time of the year. It's getting colder. So that's the work we're doing. All right, we're boots on the ground, 10 toes down. We don't play around. All right, I didn't even
Bars.
Yeah, that's bars. That's bars. All right, so getting back into the questions that you posed, Joe. First of all, young man, and I have an issue with a lot of our young people who are extremely immature, not realizing the depths of how dangerous things can get real fast if you play around. This is definitely a case of F around and find out. And you found out what it's like to be isolated and how alone you feel when the entire nation will put its foot down on you and come for you. And let's be clear about something. A lot of y'all are doing things for clout and attention. Well, are you happy with the attention that you got, young man? Like, are you happy with how this went left real fast? Because you never considered the cons. You considered the pros, but you never considered the cons. And that's one of the things we talk about. Pat talks about it all the time with his students, and that's focusing on EQ. That is emotional intelligence, and also the ability to have our young people think critically. And obviously speaking, you're a level 1 thinker. You didn't think past the notions and the concepts of where this could go. And let me explain to you, as somebody who has literally been close to your situation, but I didn't have, see, they didn't send me threats via social media, messages and so forth. I was actually under surveillance. And it was literally for writing blogs about things that people now back then called conspiracy theories, but then 2020 came around and a lot of those things were exposed as facts. I wrote a blog called The Rabbit Hole. And in that blog, I was exposing a lot of things that people didn't want out there. So, I would have the real surveillance coming out to my car being unlocked for a calendar year until we were on the UI chat on the phone line, right? We had party lines because we didn't have all the Google chat and all that stuff. And I mentioned it. And then from that day forward, my car door was locked, but 2 days later it was ransacked. See, to having police officers across the street from your house hiding in the dark. And then you come out and they magically appear in plain clothes. So now all of a sudden they just need you to identify suspects in your neighborhood or potential perps in your neighborhood. All right. You getting pulled over by law enforcement. And they saying, we don't care about your registration and insurance. We just want to make sure it's you that's driving this car. To waking up to people literally talking on your cell phone, not your house phone, your cell phone before you even start dialing. Talking about he's not here yet. We have a few more minutes. See, you F around and find out, young man, about these circumstances. The difference between you and I is I already knew where it could lead. I would talk to Pat and Joe daily. This was over a decade ago. And I would say at any day now, we can lose all of this. Any day. But young man, you just learned a powerful lesson. Now let's get to the Homeland Security. So for you, first of all, get it for you and all your young little peeps out there who want to dabble in international affairs, businesses and so forth, that you have no understanding of how deep this is. whole buildings, whole villages are destroyed for them looking for one person.
Mm-hmm.
They will destroy an entire
earth.
They will exactly. You don't think they'll come down? Where you in Chicago? Oh, you're a YN. So we talked about YNs a few weeks ago. You're a YN. Well, you YNs fucked around and find out.
Mm-hmm.
Stick to your backyard politics, young man. You ain't built for this. You ain't even built for what would happen if you disrespected somebody in the next neighborhood. So calm down. This whole notion of Homeland Security coming to him, honestly speaking, this is a paper tiger. All right. Sure, they wouldn't mind. I mean, if they had plucked it, it wouldn't have been an issue because, you know, what did Kanye West say? Kanye West said, we eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. And see, I eat pieces of shit was to mean it. But that's how they would have treated it. And we really have to look at, they don't need AI to propagandize wars. The War of 1812 was propagandized in the newspaper. Spanish-American War was propagandized in the newspapers. They wrote about wars that never happened. The Gulf of Tonkin, they created the origins or the beginnings of the backfires of the Vietnam War with false flag incidents. They don't need AI to do so. AI just makes it easier for somebody sitting at a computer, you know, sitting on a laptop to put together a profile to make it more so for individuals. But they never needed that before. They took out a president. They took out a president, 1963, in broad daylight. I believe it was November 22nd, 1963. In broad daylight. In a busy thoroughfare. In front of hundreds of people. Possibly thousands of people outside. Nobody was ever arrested for the assassination of John F. Kennedy. I want y'all to be clear. I want y'all to understand that. They blamed Lee Harvey Oswald. Go back and look at the records. He was never charged with that. He was charged with killing an officer by the name of J.D. Tippit. They never charged him for the assassination of John F. Kennedy Jr. That just lets you know. Hundreds, maybe even thousands of people lost their lives because they were witnesses to a crime that nobody got convicted of. They don't need to run deep fakes. They don't need AI to run deep fakes. So, you know, like I said, shorty doo-wop, you know, little YN from the Chi-Town, Chirac. I hope you learned your lesson. And I hope other people learned the lesson too. Because y'all want to play, now you want to be a kid again. You done dabbled in grown folk business, now you want to be a kid again. You don't get to go back, champ. You done stuck your foot in it. It's like stuck to you now. Now you got to deal with the ramifications of putting stuff out there. And you better hope that other people like this, you know, good old-fashioned white guy come to your rescue. Because if not, you will still, you know, I'm pretty sure right now, if you think you're lonely now,
Ooh, yeah.
Wait until tonight, girl.
Y'all ain't know it was musical.
That's right. Yeah, I didn't know I had I do the pipes.
Yeah, we musical over here.
He's gonna be home like this.
What more do you want from me?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody gonna be telling them.
You ain't never met Dr. Martin Luther King.
Right. So that's all I got to say, man, right now. I mean, I'm pretty sure dig a little deeper, but you know, I'm yeah, it's pretty entertaining.
Hey man, look, so because it's almost like he's taking a victim role, which in a sense he was victimized, but you set yourself up to be victimized. You set yourself up to be used. You set yourself up, you know, to be a part of this. And like I said, whether Homeland Security or whoever agency, I think of Homeland Security.
You auditioned to be a scapegoat and got the job.
Basically, he back there mopping the floor right now, right? And then he has to like you said, deal with the repercussions of that. And so it's about being smarter in the actions, but he's also part of a generation that doesn't have great leadership as well from the previous generation, i.e. our generation, because we watching reality TV. So
and one more thing before because I know Pat's about to, you know what I'm saying, Pat's about to add all the seasonings and you know what I'm saying, all the fixings to make a meal, a proper meal. I say it all the time. We're at war. But the thing is, we're the only people in the world. I'm talking about Black Americans, the only people in the world that get on a battlefield and decide that this is like we treat it like a playground. And then we're surprised that you up there playing hopscotch, basketball, whatever you want to do on it. And be surprised when there's mines, you're stepping on mines. This is a minefield. That's why I always say war and peace. Because if you want peace, you better be willing to wage war for it. You better watch 1984 or read it. Because they talk about war and peace all the time. And especially in the new age and the era of the Hunger Games we're about to face.
You ain't got no explosion sound? As you said, a minefield. You should have. There you go. That's what happened to Black people. That's what happened to our community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Pat, man, go ahead and get technical, man. Excuse me, Theodore. Go ahead and do your thing, man. So, like, what are your thoughts on what the young man did, but also the involvement of Homeland Security, but also, we're gonna get to the larger issue later, but what do you think about this incident in particular?
Damn, I wish I had my glasses around.
Man, look at here. See my brother.
I ain't had to wear them in so long, got and lost track of them. Anyways, so the young man did, like, all right, it's been said, like, and here's my theory, because I know my thought. I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, that's just a child, it's that and the third. No, when you step in grown folk business, you relinquish the ability to say, I'm just a child. And this is the part that I think a lot of people are missing. Content creation is grown folk business. That's the part that y'all are missing. This ain't sure. It's a bunch of kids posting on the internet. It's a bunch of kids who don't understand what they're doing, sharing their image, their likeness, their vocal print, their audio print, their visual print. You're sharing yourself to the whole world, and you're relinquishing it for public consumption and public alteration. That's what social media is. That's what content creation is. So if you stepping out here, you are, in fact, stepping in grown folk business, because grown folk have access to that and they can do whatever they want to do with it, because you ain't even put it out there in a privately monetized ability where it's like you still retain ownership of it. You put it out there on a public forum where you had to sign a disclaimer saying that you were okay with somebody else owning the content, which is what happens when you post content on social media.
Bitch.
So you stepped into grown folk business. So you're getting treated like a grown folk. And I feel like this is one of them places where shame would work again, because I bet you if he feel enough shame, he won't do it.
He ain't gonna do that again.
Yeah, like, so now it's not a bad thing to be shamed and embarrassed. When he first started talking, maybe it's misreading it, but it looked like he had a little bit of pride on his face. Like, yo, the government, they really out here over some old video I did. Man, I did that junk a couple months ago, man. That's crazy. Old and a couple months don't even belong in the same sentence together, young man. So you recently did a video
Yeah, a couple months is recently, sir. You recently did a video playing around with something you shouldn't have been playing around with to begin with. Talking about you saw a trend, you wanted to jump on the trend and express your creativity.
Follow
Where's
that.
creativity and jumping on somebody else's wave? So there's another contradiction. Like that's it. Like so everything you saying shows that you shouldn't have stepped out there. Yes, I'm gonna be harsh. Yes, I'm gonna be critical because this is a young black man in this world that has no room and will not suffer fools lightly. Black men don't get the we don't have the privilege of being able to be young and foolish.
Nope.
So somebody need to snatch his ass up so that he can live long enough to tell the next generation, hey, look, bro, I made a mistake. Don't do that, Dunk. Don't do that. We don't need to coddle him. We don't need to gather around and huddle over him. We don't need to do none of that. Do we want to see him harmed? No, of course not. Nobody wants to see a young man put in a serious compromised situation where his life is over because of this. But at the same time, he needs to feel something from it so that he don't do it again. And so that unfortunately, he can become a cautionary tale for the next generation of people that's looking at TikTok trends, talking about I just want to get on the wave to get famous. Y'all don't even know what come with fame. All y'all think about is the glitz and glams. I've had viral videos that have caused my inbox to be filled with death threats. It's not fun. It's not anything you would ever want to go through. I've had my significant other see my inbox filled with death threats, and now they're traumatized. And they're trying to figure out, how do I maneuver in this space? Is this a relationship I even really want to be in? Blah, 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 blah. I've done all of that. So do I feel a sense of wanting the young brother to make it out of this situation on the other side of it? Yes, I do. I do feel that. But do I feel the urge to circle around and protect this young man from the natural consequences of his actions? No, I don't. You ain't even been paying attention to the government. Like PC said, they don't need AI for this. In this particular government, we got a president that 8 years ago was talking about grabbing women by the
Boom, boom.
Like what are we doing? This is not the American government that your grandparents grew up in, where they were sophisticated, highbrow, and they kept their racism above board. This ain't that government. This is a different government, a darker government, a more in-your-face government. So, yeah, they got a message and an agenda that they pushing, and you giving them the ammunition to push it.
Stupid.
Right. Like what's happening? What is really going on here? Like, and I can already see everybody's like, oh, the government should have did deep fake this, deep fake that, deep fake, blah, blah, blah. No, stop. Look, black folk, you ain't in that position. Let the white folk play with white folk. All right. Let the Hispanics play with the Hispanics. Let everybody play with each other the way they want to play with each other. Black folk, we ain't privileged like that. So everything you do, you got to be thinking, how can this be used against me? Does it suck? Yes. Welcome to the world.
If my computer cut off, don't go nowhere, because it sounds like it might, but we going to keep moving. But if it cut off, just don't go nowhere. Edit that part out.
So
go ahead.
Because listen, we walk a tightrope from the two tallest buildings in the world with no safety net, being black men, and we keep trying to tell you guys about things of that nature. Like we're really putting together, because we've lived through some cautionary tales. We're not telling any of this stuff from a lavish position. I remember going to, you remember the Eastern Assassin, right? Larry Holmes, the boxer, the last boxer to beat Muhammad Ali. He was Muhammad Ali's trainer, his sparring partner. Yeah. Last boxer to beat Muhammad Ali before Muhammad Ali officially retired. So went on to hold the belts for like 11 years, right? I went to he was being honored here at the African American Museum here in Philly. So I got invited to come to there. One of the things that he said during that time when they were asking him about all of the different social issues he took on, because he took on a mantle of, you know, tearing down racism, white supremacy, and calling it out everywhere he went. And he said, if I could do it all again, I wouldn't do it at all. And I'm gonna be clear about it. He said, I suffered so much from all those things. And then when you realize people ain't with you, you did all that. He took all those shots. He dodged all those, you know, pound, bang, bang, pow, pows. He dodged all those things. And then you turn around, you standing by yourself.
Yep.
See, we learned from that, so we don't even go into and expecting an army of people to be with us. When we make the moves we make and we talk how we talk, we move alone for the most part.
Who gonna go against the system?
But the way we address it, we go in and understand and like, listen, we're practically mercenaries operating on as a contractors. as we go in to do the work we do to help our people and work in the communities and so forth. We're not even attached to organizations, because most of them are full of shit. We understand that. We're trying to tell you, young folk, and you old Negroes that stand behind all of this rhetoric about things that you try to impose or you try to tell they should have a right. You don't even have no goddamn rights. How you gonna tell them to have rights you don't have, and you don't have the courage to put that on the line? But you want to sort of like be the ones to egg these young folk on and tell them about all the great things, the feel good narratives and what they should do. You want to inspire them to do things. And so, like you said, Joe, we didn't prepare them. And this is why whenever I talk to a group of young people, I do the apology.
You gotta apologize, yeah.
Got to apologize. We brought you into a world. We didn't terraform for you. We didn't make the world a great place for you to come into.
Right.
For you to operate in a place where you could be successful, for a place where you can make mistakes, but still, you know, learn from the mistakes and they'll make you better from corrective care. We didn't do that. And we didn't prepare you, young people. We never prepared them. This kid was never prepared.
Right.
Young man, because he's not a kid no more. We didn't prepare this young man. And then he's doing all these things. And like Pat said, he still doesn't understand the gravity of what happened.
Nah, he don't.
They didn't tag his ass yet.
Right.
Did he not watch? Like they were disappearing people on TV during all the different uprisings. Like people, they drive past them. Next thing you know, the people in the van was gone. They can make shit happen.
Man, like, look, so no, you're right. Like, but that's one of the things. That's why I chose this, because he may or may not hear this, but the ones who gonna hear this, right? You gonna understand. Don't do no dumb shit like that. Like, don't set yourself up to get got by the people that you can't defend your damn self from. And when it come down to the come down, if it's between you and the government, you the ones that you think gonna have your back, like PC said, they ain't gonna have your back. You're gonna be by your damn lonesome. So you got to be smarter out here in these streets, young man. Don't do that no more. Don't you ever in your life do that no more. And if you haven't learned your lesson, well, you might, by the time you learn your lesson, it might be too late.
Oh, listen, let them start freezing his assets. Let them start, hey, dude, let them put him on a terrorist watch list. Let them put him on a no-fly list.
So,
they could do things to him without even coming to his house.
Right. So, but this is, as I said earlier, though, this is a part of a larger issue where Black people's image and likeness. Now, these are Black people who have not set themselves up in that way, making dumb videos to set themselves up. These are just Black people just going about their everyday lives and finding out later that the likeness is being used in videos that are either threatening to others or even demeaning the Black people. And Shout out to the brother Jew Almighty. I came across his YouTube channel a couple weeks ago, and I've been watching a couple videos, and I came across this one. He's giving an account and a breakdown on what's happening with what they call the deep fakes or the fake AI videos that is putting bad people in bad situations and making them look bad and putting them a part of situations that they have nothing to do with. So check this out. And make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share. We forgot to say that earlier. You see these fingers. Like that, hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and share. There you go. Unless if you don't, you support government, illegal government activity. So yeah.
Using my face, there has been accounts using my face, telling stories that I've never told, sharing news I have never shared. AI is honestly getting out of hand.
I get threats daily on IG. Federal government is involved with something that I didn't do. Did not post that video.
AI is now being used to put a target on Black people's backs, putting us in situations we were never in, saying or doing things that we never did.
If your government can steal your content in order to weaponize a falsity, a lie against Americans, in order to get Americans, death threats, that's your government doing that to you. What else could they do?
And it's getting scary as the Department of Homeland Security shared an AI-doctored video, making it look like a group of Black teens was threatening ICE agents, which was 100% fake. But that didn't stop DHS from sharing the video and threatening those kids on their official X page with the post that got over 37 million views, putting those kids in real danger from a MAGA conservative base that has already shown their bigotry and penchant for violence loud and clear.
Call for a civil war and let us do our thing. Let us go door to door, street by street, and clean this country.
And in a completely separate.
I'm just saying. All I'm saying is the young man has done their job for them. Thank you, young, dumb, and foolish for helping throw logs on the fire of something that you don't even understand, brother. Now you got Billy Bob them stirred up, and they like, hey, let us go out and clean out in cotton fields, okay?
Man, first of all, there's no story of any of them pulling up down the way with all that crazy shit.
Of course.
They're talking about going to a place where docile Negroes are and then just, and finding soft targets. So I'm not worried about Billy Bob so much.
Well, it ain't Billy Bob ain't for you, but it's for the other ones, like you said, that can't defend themselves.
Well, they better learn. They better learn just like that young boy. So but more so to what the sister was talking about, and this is why I say I put the responsibilities of things on us.
Yeah,
we literally sign into applications that say they will use our likeness. First of all, Facebook, Instagram, to be on all of those even YouTube, you have to sign your account. They have that disclosure agreement that nobody reads, but we get down and click because we want to get started. We want to get it popping. Well, even to get on your phones, how many times?
Give up your likeness.
No. You know how many times on my phone that when I go to contact my mobile carrier, they keep trying to get me to use voice authorization. That they keep trying to get me to use for if I want to lock my phone, they want to use my fingerprint or digital identification. No. And when they had the eye scanner, everybody thought they was fucking James Bond when all this came out, not realizing the ramification of how these things would then be used. All right. It was a conspiracy theory. The World Health Organization collects blood from every baby born, and they have you guys always talking some crazy stuff about the government. No, they really do that shit. And they collect all this information. Why do you think they collect all this information? It's so they could do shit like this. And I know I'm at my limit. So they could do things like this. And so we give them access to this. Every time we go live, they can take our voice. They got voice modification. If anybody paid attention to some of the voice mails and some of the audio that was captured from when the planes crashed into the buildings on 9/11, and people still think that only 2 buildings fell in New York that day, when a 3rd building fell that day that was literally fell in its own footprint. First 2 did too, but that 3rd building fell with very little damage to it. Right, building 7, and they announced it before it happened. You literally see the BBC broadcast of them announcing it in the building is behind the reporter. So going back to what we're talking about, and this thing, I'm glad the brother's calling it out. He's calling for a sympathetic point of view, is like the government is wrong. You can't shame the devil. We already talked about devil has no shame. So what you can do is arm the people. Stop giving them your intellectual property. Stop giving them your voice. Stop giving them your retinal scans. Stop giving them your fingerprints, your digital stop giving them all that shit.
We ain't gonna do that.
Well, then, hey, because we like to have, they just say, the song "Girls Just Want to Have Fun." I guess all of them just want to have fun, and that's the problem. And I remember years ago, it's like 2009, 2010, when I first got on social media with the intent on utilizing it as it was stated, media. And I started putting all this information out, and the brothers and sisters was hitting me up like, yo, bro, honestly speaking, you take things too seriously. We come on here after a hard day's work to let our hair down. Funny thing is the brother was bald, but that's another conversation. But Joe, you're letting your hair down too. See,
there you go.
But the bottom line is we think everything is a game or a joke. And we don't understand it. We're not mature enough as the people that what do we call it again? What's it called again? Damn it, now I'm showing my age. But this is adolescent, what is it called again? Basically regression. We're regressed adolescently. The word, the term.
You talking about arrested development.
There you go. See, I knew Joe would get it.
Yeah.
We are arrested in terms of our development. None of us, you can be 70, 80 years old as somebody in our community. You said we're loosely, but you still operate like a teenager that is not going out, like that hasn't left the porch, that hasn't gone off your block. You haven't experienced no part of life in which you have to be serious and responsible for things that are happening to you, and then how your actions will impact other people, not just you, but other people. And this is why we end up where we do, or where we are.
We YNs, PC. We don't think about tomorrow.
And I think that's like that showcase when we start looking at people talking about when black folk make jokes. And I'm not gonna sit here and be holier than thou. Sometimes I look at the jokes, sometimes they're funny, but I find them funny and I laugh. But the part that always frustrates me is inevitably you see a comment that says my people can't take nothing seriously, and I love that about us. And I never find that comment funny. Because I'm like, so you love the fact that we're perpetually immature? You love the fact that we can't, we literally can't,
because that person is immature.
So and even with what they're saying, like even in this video, like the video from the lady, your government does that. When has your government not done that? Like, do we understand? One, there's a whole generator of AI slop out there that doesn't need to steal content from real creators. It can create content with fake black folk with no genesis in reality, no originating clip. It just generates. So they don't even need to do. I can take your voice, me, Patrick Irvin, can take your voice from any source that I can get it from and make you say anything I want. And I've been able to do that for at least 5 years, going on 10, I think. So if I've been able to do it for the last decade, the government's been able to do it going back further than that. And this is with my home computer. We know that Russia, during that whole collusion thing with Trump last time he was in office, we know now undisputably that they were generating content from black people as fake social media content that drum up outrage. Other countries are doing it.
Look here.
So it like everything, like it's like, did y'all are y'all really?
No, they're not. Once again, though, no, it's the mindset of the people that's arrested development. People with arrested development they ain't thinking about none of that, man. They trying to go viral. Y'all trying to stop them from going viral. They trying to go viral. But then I'm gonna complain if stuff don't happen right. But I'm trying to go viral. You trying to stop me from going viral, Pat? Why are you trying to do that, bro?
I mean, I'm not trying to stop you from going viral. Honestly, I don't care if you use voice print, if you use fingerprint. I don't care about none of that. Honestly, for me, where you lose me at is when you do something and then something happened and then you act like you didn't do something. Or you act like you didn't understand it.
I don't.
Well, if you didn't understand it, why are you doing it? That's my whole beef. Like, if you didn't know that they could do this, why are you doing what you doing?
But that's bro, their mindsets are warped, bro. And that's the problem. That's the problem. But once again, going back to, they were not properly prepared for this. They were not properly the adults before them were trash. So yeah.
Which is why I don't feel any shame or whatever about going out like this. Because I know the same people that would see the government's response. And for the record, government agencies have been reposting fake content for literally years now. Like, this ain't the first time this has happened. They've been doing this exact thing for years. So even in that, but again, if you want to do that, fine. I don't care. But don't do it. And then, so those people that are doing those things and not aware that the government can do this, they're not going to see this video.
Well, right. You're right about that, because this ain't even going to fall into their algorithm. And so we can talk to the ones who do see it, because it's their job to share it. This is their job to regenerate and trick the algorithm again. But it's funny how we talk about history. We literally talking about this stuff happening and how little people can actually take historical facts and information and apply it to the real living conditions and when it happens to us. So we only see it from a place of nostalgia or wonder, but we don't see it. We talk about the poison pen letters that the CIA, the FBI wrote between Malcolm X and Elijah Muhammad. How they would announce that after finding out Elijah Muhammad had suspended Malcolm X and told him he wasn't allowed to publicly speak, that they would talk on the radio. Malcolm would be in Cleveland, but they would be in Boston saying, and Malcolm X delivered a harrowing speech this morning talking about denouncing President John F. Kennedy. Knowing damn well he wasn't there. Somebody in Boston hears it on the radio and calls Elijah Muhammad, or calls the house in the headquarters in Chicago, and now there's a full-on war where they literally tried to assassinate Malcolm at least 5 or 6 times before they actually did it in the Audubon Ballroom. So we don't even need to do the shit. You watch the movie Judas and the Black Messiah. They tried to create hostility using false messages and things and put up fake flyers between the gangs that Chairman Fred Hampton was trying to sort of negotiate with, and the Panthers in Chicago, and they nearly came several times. It wasn't just once; it was multiple times. Everybody had to bring guns to the meeting to make sure nobody got hit. So. Yeah. That's just falls in line. We talk about the collection of information. So we can talk about eyes on the prize, but nobody want to talk about the fact that you literally had people talking about that we have files on Black people that we rival the greatest Black libraries in terms of our of the dossiers and files we have. And he said, anybody Black that could potentially be somebody, we already know more about you than you know about yourself. And we think they playing games with us now.
Yep. This
is why they wanted to vote for Democrat. They wanted to go back to sleep.
You trying to wake them up? What kind of man are you?
Yeah, they wanted to take their foot off the gas pedal and go back to sleep. They wanted to take a nap again. Hit the snooze button.
What's wrong with Black men now?
Yep.
You're so inconsiderate.
Right. Hey, listen, man. It is what it is. I'm gonna keep stepping on y'all toes.
Hey, let's keep going.
situation, AI was used to steal the face and identity of a black woman to create a fake video of her calling a DoorDash driver a liar after she claimed that she was SA'd by a customer. Which is crazy because this black woman never spoke on the situation at all. It's disturbing and dangerous. We are officially in Black Mirror territory, which is something I've been concerned and warning y'all about. Everyone should be terrified by AI at this point.
Come sharking with me, y'all. The ninjas is outside. Ooh, y'all, look at him.
What's up?
You cut off your friend for missing your birthday dinner, but not the man who forgot your birthday?
It's really scary and unsettling because of the implications of what can be done with videos like this, especially in the hands of anyone that has malicious intent against an individual or community in the very near future. A person, business, or federal agency can now use AI software to put someone, anyone at the scene of a crime or to spread lies about us, which will be hard for anyone to fight, especially as it's getting harder to tell AI from real videos.
Step 2, pray. These tweezers do not got my back today. Hey, hold up. PERD. That's 1 cluster down, 39 to go. I'm basically a licensed esthetician now. Y'all see the vision? I look like a tired fairy, a sexy one.
Y'all all L, look at me.
Hey, I'm out here on 14, bruh. On my mama, it's already hella janky.
And let's be honest, racists aren't hiding how they feel about us or anyone else of color anymore.
The outlet obtaining more than 7 months worth of Telegram messages in which they say members muse about using gas against political.
He young, man. He young. He don't know. He young.
Opponents. I'm ready to watch people burn now, one person responds. Another describing as epic.
Time out.
The chat includes
hold on. How do we even know that that's not AI generated? We know they fantasize all the time, and I'm not saying it's not because the sentiment's there. We know that, but how do we know that that's not AI generated? All this stuff, the funny thing is, and I think we should probably do something about how deep AI can go. That everybody is like the people that have studied AI, studied the government's AI, not ChatGPT and none of the other shit. And Pat can affirm this more than me because this is down his lane. They actually got videos out right now, documentaries out right now, mockumentaries out right now, talking about the potential hazards of having creating a supercomputer that's actually smarter than us, and how it can actually manipulate the world into a global conflict. Where there's internal fighting in the countries as well as extinguishing events such as in the Terminator.
That was a movie.
Right. No. They have several of them where they all are talking about the next generation AI, the next generation AI, building the AIs. There's no longer that the AIs have learned to manipulate. So
that was the inspiration for Elon Musk's Grok AI.
Well, listen, all of it, right? But these things have been like, what's the sister that wrote what is it? The Third Eye, the sister
Sophia Stewart, but
Sophia
Stewart, right?
She wrote about this in either the late 70s, early 80s. She wrote about this possibility back then. They've known that moving forward, it was going to get to this point. They literally had a movie out called War Games with Matthew Broderick, and they're talking about an AI playing a war game that could have led to nuclear annihilation of the entire planet. They know, right, the capacity for this. And so, like I said, I don't want to get too deep into that right now, but it's something that I've been paying attention to because most people don't have common sense.
Yeah.
And then most governments, they preach fear, but they operate off fear. So they believe in preemptive strikes because the other government is working on a similar system as they're working on, and so they know that they got to stay ahead of that government, but in the process you endanger the entire planet because you consistently generate computers that are smarter than you. Yep. And operating systems that work faster and think faster, more diligently, and have already computed how to manipulate circumstances to get to these points. And we're watching it in real time, but nobody wants to believe it, though.
Right.
anti-Semitic comments and racial slurs against Black, Latino, Asian people, and other epithets used more than 250 times, according to Politico. The outlet says one person, after being told backers would support the most right-wing candidate for a leadership role, responded, "Great, I love him."
They're louder and bolder than ever, feeling empowered by a government that's grown comfortable pushing racist rhetoric and policies, which should be setting off every alarm bell possible for society. Because in the wrong hands, or the hands of an organization that's already biased against us, it can and is being weaponized, and we are the target.
These people are out of control, and yet they want you to believe that the real threat is young Black men who are threatening ICE agents. Something they've invented by stealing this young man's content.
But I'm Jew. Welcome to the channel. Please like and share the video. Don't forget to sub. Now, let's get into.
Hey, fam. So the Department of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem's outfit, is now weaponizing social media against the American people and putting Americans' lives at risk. The Department of Homeland Security X-Twitter account posted this video and say that if you threaten ICE agents, we're coming to get you.
It's still crazy to me that this post is real on the official DHS page. If you threaten or lay hands on our law enforcement officers, we will hunt you down and you will find out really quick. We'll see you cowards soon. 37 million views, and we already know how unhinged some of these MAGA Republicans are. And you can see the caption, which is completely made up. ICE, we're on the way. Word on the streets, cartels put a $50,000 bounty on y'all.
Okay. And this message is for the brother. Fam, I'm tired of Black people being betrayed as weak and docile and have to be full of fear. It's one thing to announce a potential threat. Don't announce it from the standpoint of we're defenseless as a people. Arm the people with what they need to know and how they need to handle themselves. It's no longer about spreading awareness. As Pat said, they have been practicing and preaching this stuff since social media has created the actual platforms for this. This stuff has been going on since MySpace. This stuff has been going on since the early advent of YouTube. We have videos of them in the 90s talking about preparing for the race war. And they have been in the woods and they've been living in school buses, and all they have is their rifle, the deer meat, and the skin of a deer, and this, that, and the other, but they're prepared to go to war. We have videos of them talking about that. We have videos of them talking about don't take on the threat greater than you. In other words, go and find soft targets. So it's like you warn those people about getting prepared. Let's not send this message of fear. And they think the Black kids are the real threat to the democracy is these white folk. Listen. So what do you want to do about the threat? What do you want to do about it? So that's my only critique of him, in this regard, because I'm tired of Black people playing this role of victim, trying to appeal to the better consciousness of somebody out there that's going to see this and prevent these white folk from doing whatever they plan on doing. That's never going to happen. In fact, the main ones sponsoring them are the other white folk.
Hey, Pat, PC ain't got no faith, man. He got to have faith, man. Why you ain't got no faith, dog?
Well, as the good book said, faith without works is dead. So
see, you reading too far, dog.
Oh yeah, well, hey, listen, man. At the end of the day, we can start we can do a TikTok trend and we just start dancing. We can create a new dance. We can do that. We can show you how to juggle and make better biscuits. Like, what do y'all want us to do?
You missed a great transit. First off, cooking with Kai, I already did that. Second off, at the end of the day is going to end.
The day will end. We really need to put that on the shirt.
I think somebody already got it on the shirt.
Somebody beat it to it.
Yeah.
But
that was it.
I just think I'm overly. I'm overly.
No, I thought Pat
read between the lines, Joe. Read between the lines.
The way you leaned in, and then after that, I thought you were finna say something else. My bad.
I guess I'm just done with the whole narrative that this spreading awareness thing. I'm done with that part. I'm just done with it.
Right.
Like, what more awareness do you need to spread?
But see, we're in that space. We're wise enough to understand like what's really going on in the world. And I guess you could say another thing we could bring up about where that comes out of this situation and analyzing this situation, but also analyzing the commentary of the young man is we have a lot of young Black creators who are building followings based off of what they believe they know, but they don't really understand what's going on around them. And so, and the fact they're misleading a lot of people. So you're going to have a lot of emotionally and morally charged people out there trying to appeal to the emotion. Of course, we talk about it over here all the time. Fuck your morals, because they don't care nothing about your morals. But we got a lot of people who are trying to appeal to the morals of white America, or even appeal to the morals of other Black people to just be better. Just please be better. Just be better. And like, the world has never worked like that. Like, if you read history, the world has never like that. World peace is an idea that somebody came up because they was ambitious.
The world is two wolves and a sheep voting on what's for dinner.
Oh,
that's what the world is. Two wolves and a sheep voting on what's for dinner. And we're the sheep. And we keep trying to play the role of the sheep. And we're praying for a shepherd. We have got to get to the place where these compassionate, hopefully I'll provoke somebody to do the right thing. I'll inspire somebody to do the right thing. I'll gaslight somebody to do things the right way, move this, that, and the other. We have got to get past that. This is another part of the arrested development. We still see it like kids going to the, finally getting the courage to go to the principal's office and say, hey, these kids are threatening to beat me up after school. Well, the principal should say, well, where's your friends? Where's your homies at?
Solutions. See, you talking about being solution minded.
Y'all better go out there and go squad deep. Y'all better, face the adversary on, head up. You know what I'm saying?
You be wanting people to do work, man. You must be a teacher or something. That's why they call you professor.
I want people to actually be realistic about what we're dealing with. And I want people to get off their ass because, and I don't know.
That's how you get real change, though. That's how you get real change.
No. I'm tired because everybody wants to be an influencer these days. Well, I don't know what they're influencing, but everybody wants to be an influencer. And so I'm cool. Like, I understand. Listen, this is the message. Cool. But I want us to more so just understand that if you're going to be an influencer, you don't have to necessarily be threatening, but you can warn your folk. Okay, this is what's happening. This is what we need to know. So these are some of the things you need to do to prepare for circumstances. Be aware, be vigilant, look around this, that, and the other. Have contingency plans for if somebody pull up at your joint, pull up in your town. Know what towns they're searching for. Know they're going to show up on Sunday and try to come to your church service. Notice they like know that somebody could be in the supermarket planning on offing you, like it's happened several times. Where and you're just standing in line pretending like this is just a regular person getting gross. No. This person has bloodthirst on their mind. You got to be aware of those things. Instead of trying to pretend like those things don't exist, and you got to be vigilant. I can't tell you how many times that I've been in places and my eyes don't go off at certain people. And I'm talking about in my neighborhood, but you ain't from my neighborhood. I'm making sure, you walking down the block with a backpack. Yo, what you doing around here? Who are you? I'm questioning you, and you see my hand in places where you know that it ain't just peanuts in my pocket. All right, so you know what I'm saying? It's like that wherever we are, and we don't operate like that because of what we talked about last week, the dysfunction in terms of that, and the fact that we don't necessarily have the glue to stick together on anything, but we don't recognize it from that particular perspective, and everybody wants to be I think the biggest drawback on people watching the civil rights movement in the 60s and the 70s and the Black Power movement, all they saw were the speakers. All they saw were the speeches. And they assumed that they assumed that's all it took to get the masses moving. That's not what happened. Malcolm X moved to Philadelphia for 2 years to build up Mosque number 12. Every city that there was a mosque for or a new temple for the Nation of Islam at that particular time, he moved to those cities and built it, recruited, and taught. He didn't just do that. Martin Luther King, he had a whole organization around him, the Southern Christian Leadership Corps, a whole organization around him. He had a group of pastors that not only trained him, but trained his masses, the masses that followed him. The NAACP worked with him. Like they had a bunch of people. Even we talk about the Stokely Carmichaels. They had CORE and they also had SNCC. They had organizations that did the groundwork and the footwork to do all those different things. So you had the Nation of Islam, they had their organization and groundwork, and they had their culture. You had all these different things that had they didn't just fucking speak. They spoke to people that already bought in to what needed to be done. The speak was the last thing. The speech, it was like you going out to play a football game. It's the what do they call it? What do they call it? Y'all both play football. What do they call it when they when they call it when you're in the huddle before the game and you're giving out that rally and you're giving out that game
pregame speech.
That pregame speech. That's all they did. They gave pregame speeches to people who already knew what the game plan was, what plays we're going to run, how we're going to play offense, and how we're going to play defense. They already did that. You can't come on here just talking. What's behind you? What have you prepared the people to do? And that's my issue with influencers. You can't fucking influence nobody to do anything but like and share your videos. And I'm done with it. I'm sorry.
You trying to make me work.
You already work. That's the crazy part. You work.
But
so right here.
So I hear you, but it's not a but. I'll take that back. I hear you. However, the climate that we're in is too many Negroes and not enough black folk. So we're in the climate to where, we always say, his content, he's able to talk the way he talked and give that message, and people receive it how they receive it, because he don't know no better. Keep saying that, keep bringing it back. He don't know no better. There's no guidance. There is. I want to say it sounds like he's never either been approached by somebody who knows better or sought out to know better. But I do know there's a couple generations of people who think that they are knowledgeable about what's going on, but they don't really know, because they've not, like, we keep acting like we don't have to learn from people. Like we keep acting like we don't have to have elders and gurus and steps to learn things when it comes to certain things. We think that we can just come across information on the internet and voila, like we're masters in these subjects, and not understanding that it has to be imparted down from generation to generation, step to step, like the master has to teach you. And even in all of this, like this pseudo intellectualism, because everybody's an intellectual, everybody has an opinion, and if I can sound better than the next man, but to us, we hear you, but we hear you too.
Well, guess what, Joe? You want to talk about the real threats to society? About 23,000 members of the armed forces, these are people that have actually been trained to go into hostile territory, trained to take down tyrannical governments, alleged tyrannical governments, trained with military objectives. Guess what? When that November 1st hit, like that, when that shutdown and the cutoff happens, over 20 or about 23,000 of members of them, they're going to lose their SNAP benefits too. You're going to start seeing people who actually have the capability of being real threats on the streets, and if they choose, and they know how to get organized. They know how to be platoons. They know how to be units. They know how to move. They know how to do covert missions, because it's all spread all over all the different armed forces, your Marines, your Navy, your Air Force, your Army, your National Guard. They all know you want to talk about real threat? I'll take one of them than some hillbilly out there with wearing a tank top in the winter in the mountains. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I feel you, but it's the 29th. What you just said, most black people have no idea what you're talking about.
No, it'll be the 31st when this airs.
Yeah. There you go. Right. It's gonna be 31st when this airs. But I'm just saying, like, either way, it's like we coming up on it. Like, we're so close to it, and most people have no idea what's going on with that. They don't know what you just talked about.
Well, tell them go rent the Hunger Games. Go watch the Hunger Games.
I mean, it's black people are in a position that if shit hit the fan, we gonna hit the fan with the shit.
Sorry. Yeah.
Well, I think one, black people, a lot of people on social media aren't doing the due diligence to be intellectuals. Because when I used to do my lessons from the screen videos, it took me a week to prepare those videos. It was only an hour, but that whole week was spent researching all of the topics that connect tangentially, that connect on this weird periphery, just making sure that, and I'm sure even in those videos, I still miss some things. I'm positive. But I at least put together those videos with a week's worth of solid research so that I was comfortable enough that I could provide an introductory level education to anybody that watched what I was doing. If you have more knowledge, I'm sure you could poke holes through it. But I also never presented myself as an expert. These people come on social media. They've done half an article worth of research and they start talking. And then on top of that, there is the strategic piece to it. One of the books that's been sitting in the glove compartment for the since 2014, actually, that I've been debating about releasing or not, is a book called it's a book, it don't have a name, but it's about the structure of revolution, the tactics of revolution. The tentative title was Black Tactics for the Black Revolution. And that's one of the things that I realized as I was doing research for that book. Black folk don't really understand how to utilize awareness, how to grow it, how to develop it, and what the purpose of it is. And not only is that the case for awareness, that's also the case for all of the means of communication. That's also the case for all of the tools that we try to use to change the system. It's just the case in general. People haven't spent time studying and looking into the words they're saying and the behaviors and activities that they're engaged in. But it sounds good because they heard it from somebody else who also didn't do the research, and it sounded good when they heard it, so they just regurgitating it. I think that's what this brother is doing. And no shade to you, but get out into the sun. All the shade to you.
So what I heard is you think you better than them because you read.
Yes, that is exactly what I said. Verbatim. And not only do I read well and I comprehend. And I do all of them, and I just use the SAT word. Comprehend.
Pat, hey, PC Pat old school. He go and actually do research and read and make sure he got notes.
PC, I'm lame as hell, bro.
PC. He makes sure he know what he talking about. What's wrong with him?
Lame as
hell,
hell,
I can't say nothing. That man take notes on audiobooks. I can't say shit.
Hey man, PC.
I'm lame as hell, bro. I'm square as fuck.
Who actually want to make sense when they talk these days, PC? Who do that, man?
Bro, I'm square as hell, man. That's why I ain't got no maidens. That's why I'm maidenless.
Well, I know one thing. And that's true because and then go back when I used to do the blog, when I used to, man, listen, if I couldn't find credible primary and secondary sources, I wasn't even talking about the shit. That's research. And I'm going back to doing research when before you had the internet. You know what I'm saying? You had to literally go and watch you had to roll microfiche. And you had to literally scale microfilm. You had to find the articles and things of that nature. You had to literally go to where the information was. You had to look at the books you read, and then in the back of the book, go to the index to find out exactly where all the different information came from. None of that stuff happens no more. And everybody wants to be the first one to talk about some shit. Everybody wants to be the first one out there. And like I said, I know we totally took it off the fact of what he's talking about with the dangers of AI and things of that nature. But I think that's something that needs to be examined well, because we also inflict damage and harm when we don't do our due diligence, and then we present the information from a standpoint of being victims all the time or being scared. And he'll probably see this and say something like, well, I wasn't scared. Listen, that's your ego talking, fam. Let's watch your video and show us where you empowered Black people to do something about the conditions that were being presented to them. Instead of be aware of the government, be aware of these white folk and it's stirring them, and this is the worst population. I don't give a fuck about that population. I really don't. I went to college with that population. We used to watch Klan rallies, walk down the goddamn street. They had a cross burning my first day officially in college on the campus at the campus Capitol building. We don't give a damn about none of that.
Yeah.
You see, you got a lot of profanity in your system today.
I see today. You're gonna make me work.
I just hate the portrayal. Two things, right? I hate when people portray God as weak and docile, and I hate when people portray Black people as weak and docile. That's when people talking about, I'm on demon time. I'm gonna do. I don't give a fuck about a demon. Excuse my language. I don't care about demons. I don't care.
Right.
I mean,
ain't no more excusing your language, not the message. Hey, but no, I mean, but is he speaking the truth about his fear?
Well, if it's his fear, then so be it. Stop projecting it, because it's not my fear.
No, right. But the larger society, are Black folk at large fearful of white people?
Absolutely.
So that's what he's talking about. And I get what you're saying.
And no threat.
But that's what he talks about.
What was the biggest protest? Die-ins. They trying to murk you anyway. And your biggest protest is to show them what it would look like. So you want to give them a visual aid to assist them in their goals and aspirations to actually make this thing a reality.
So when he talk like that, he's projecting his fear and the fear of the larger society. Unfortunately, Black people fear white supremacy at large.
Black people fear the repercussions of dealing with white folk, because Black folk don't fear Black folk. But they fear the repercussions.
Nobody fears that.
They have the epigenetic fear of being rounded up by lynch mobs and hanging from trees on the I-95 corridor. We understand those things very well.
Like every
hold on, Joe. You ain't finna get away with that. Roaches don't fear nobody
at all.
Well, true, but they got a special non-fear for Black people.
Yeah. I didn't even hear
let you get away with that. Nah, I can't let you get away from that. Get away.
I was wondering,
bro.
I was wondering if somebody heard.
Drinking that wine, smoking them tweets.
Yeah, nah, Joe, you've been on one today too. Like, I've been looking at both of y'all like y'all lunching today.
I told y'all from the beginning I was gonna be on one.
Hey man, listen. And like I said, I just came up. I really don't plan on actually being triggered by some of this stuff, because I didn't even know anything about this video. I knew about the other video. I didn't even know anything about this one. And so, that caught me, because I want to understand how the information is being disseminated, because speaking from a place of weakness just won't do. And as a Black man, I can't tolerate weakness as a man, because we can't afford to get weak. We don't like Pat said earlier, we don't have the space or the liberty to be weak and docile. And I don't, like I say, I ain't trying to offend the brother, but listen, I'm not going to bite my tongue on this either. The mere fact that we have so many brothers out there that's trying to have this compassionate conversation and then sound non-threatening in the process, it sickens me. It sickens me, and it empowers. You want to talk about those white that white militia dude that was talking, watching a video like this would empower him to move further along in whatever ambition he had towards hurting and harming black folk.
Every video we showed tonight would.
But I'm talking about this response video.
No, I'm with that too. But even the young man, the first young man, even his response and his weakness that was on display and his ignorance and all those things, like all of that would spur them to move forward and ride out.
The level of this. See, this one works on a different level because this brother has had the opportunity to watch those videos, break them down, and then give a overall response to whatever's happening. And because he's at this place where he's making his appeals and he's talking like this, if I'm white, I'm like, oh shit, they really don't. Okay, bet. That's how that. Okay, y'all moving like that is weak. Y'all moving like that where you're trying to appeal to my better nature. Let me show you my better nature. I might pull up. I ain't endorsing anybody pulling up, but now I have more confidence to do so because I ain't got to worry about you.
But when have black people been showing strength though? Like, and I'm not.
That's why we're talking about it now.
Yeah, but that's why I'm asking a question like that, right? So when have we been showing strength? And if anybody could say we've been showing strength, well, how have we showed strength? What have we done?
To the streets and marching by yelling on megaphones and things like that. Like, listen, the one that I'm gonna tell you, the young people that show up when they be walking, when these guys decide they're gonna walk through our neighborhoods, like several times they came to Philly and got the brakes beat off of them. Those are the ones that actually show some strength. Now they ain't on social media putting videos out and things of that nature. It's typically somebody catching them whipping somebody's behind.
Are we asking too much for a group of people who lately, or even a little more than lately, haven't showed any signs of life?
Get down or die trying.
Well, shit, we.
I think every show we do, we're asking for too much, but I just being honest. No, but I also think that we there kind of needs to be somebody holding that banner of like, no, black folk, we need y'all. Because if you don't demand more, you won't get more.
Right.
No, and we do that. That's why we do what we do. But it just, looking at it from a different viewpoint, playing devil's advocate as well, is
put you like this, Joe. I'm sorry.
Can you get orange juice from a quarter?
Well, so you're asking the question of capacity versus motivation.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I think it's a lack of both. For the large majority of black people, I think there's a lack of capacity and motivation.
Yeah, that's a demoralized population. I agree, but that don't mean you stay there.
No, right. And I'm not suggesting that we stay there. Like I'm having fun playing devil's advocate as well because I like to hear you cooking, but it's also just looking at it, from a standpoint of we are looking to resurrect parts of the dead, not the whole dead, but parts of the dead.
And I'm like I said, because we can talk about this, and this has to be like a 2-part show, if we keep going. I think that at some point, and there was never a majority of people that took a stand for the majority of people. There was always a critical mass, and that critical mass was small. That critical mass that fought back in Tulsa was extremely small. I mean, the narrative is overblown, but it was literally like 5 or 10 brothers.
Right. But I think what you just said, though, is the key. What you just said is the key. Because matter of fact, I was just having this conversation with one of my homeboys earlier, right? And because I was asking him, I said, do you actually know what percentage of Black Americans were a part of the civil rights movement versus the percentage that you think was a part of the civil rights movement. Because of the way we were taught about the civil rights movement, we were taught as if the majority of black people joined the civil rights movement. But then I was like, if you really look at it, it was several movements going on at one time. So the majority of black people couldn't have been in the civil rights movement if you had several movements. And then like you was talking about earlier with Malcolm going around, like I think the membership of the Nation of Islam blew up to around 400,000 under Malcolm itself.
Well, go ahead, Pat.
No, go ahead. He was talking to you.
Well, you know what? When we look at those pictures of Malcolm on 125th Street, right? And he's standing there on a soapbox talking to people, and they would set it up. There was some people that told me, you know, people that were there, right? And people that studied it. There was a lot of creative photography angles. It gave the impression that more people were actually outside than there were. And, you know, we did the numbers. It's less than 1% of black people actually were a part of any of those movements. I mean, less than 1% of black people were a part, collectively speaking, of any of those movements. So, and I'm talking about collectively, like you add them all up, it's less than 1% of black people. I mean, you want to talk about the March on Washington, what, 63? It was, they claim was 400,000 people out there that day. Well, that, I'm not even sure how many of those were all, because it wasn't all black folk out there, for one. And two, you know what I'm saying? Some people just came for the spectacle to say they were there, just like the Million Man marches that we have now. People just want to say they were there. That doesn't necessarily mean they were active membership. There was an active membership and them being a part of these particular movements. The Black liberation movement was so limited in its capacity that the Black Panthers changed their political philosophy to become socialist, so that they can align with the global socialist movements around the world to build up their ability to apply political pressure on the American government. But before, they were just strictly about following black folk around and going on patrol, making sure black people weren't harmed due to police terrorism in Oakland. So it just really speaks to the reality. And this is where we talk about the nostalgia part of it. You can watch people fill up a church. When Dr. King spoke, you can talk about the I Have a Dream speech, which wasn't even called I Have a Dream. You can talk about all these different things. But the bottom line is less than 1% did it. And actually, it would take less than 1% today. It would take less than 1% to get the ball rolling. And I'm not talking about all out warfare, this, that, and the other, but protect yourselves. Damn it. Have some pride. Treat it like you treat your front door in the house. Can't nobody come to my front door and expect to have their way. Nobody. No, it's going to be some smoke. And for us to stop operating from a place of fear, of praying or hoping nothing goes wrong. No, I'm prepared for if it does. I mean, I hope it's going to be all right, but if it don't, I'm going to be all right. And so I think we need to start operating like the American Revolution. You know, there's a white militia out there called the 3%ers. And that's because they claim that they represent the 3%ers because 3% of the American population, the colonial American population, actually took part in the American Revolutionary War against the British. 3% actually were active in part to that. If you look at the U.S. military right now, it's what less than 3-4% of the American population, but it's all over the world. So, you know, we really need to understand the people, because when you're committed to making it work. We're not committed to changing anything, so they can do whatever they want to us. We're sitting ducks. And we ought to be aware of this. We ought to beware of AI. We ain't got to be aware of none of that shit. We're not a threat to anybody. They could take all of our stuff today, and we would be powerless to do anything about it because we don't even operate. This is why I always talk about black nationalism, and people scoff at it. We're not black. I'm not a color of a crayon. You got to choose national. Dumbass. Nationalism is what I'm talking about. I don't care what you identify as.
Nah, see, you said a color. See, that's what
But nationalism speaks to a collective group of people operating in their folk ways and more ways and value systems that actually promote the proliferation of those people.
But what does that say about our people to miss everything you saying and get stuck on the color?
Listen, man.
Because
I've said before that procrastination. It's like watching your friend getting jumped, and you're like about 10 feet away, and by the time you get to your friend, the people that was whooping his ass have already finished, dusted off, and down there walking down the street. We walk slow to fights for each other. So yeah,
it's like
so having those arguments is nothing more than a distraction from the fact that we don't want to get involved, and we don't want, because we know what happens.
Yo, like if you really think that us not saying the color is gonna get us to where we need to be socially, okay. I'm not even arguing with you. Okay.
Hey, listen,
okay,
man.
You win.
Hey, so I'm kind of done because we've been on here a while. I'm done.
Hey man, you sure you ain't got no more courses in you?
Oh, I do, but we be here another 2 hours, so
man.
I'm done.
Well, I feel you. I ain't got nothing to do, but I feel you. So, Pat, you got any closing thoughts and closing statements, my brother? Nah, he ain't even say nothing. Yeah. All right. Hey, well,
I got one, Joe.
The hunt is on.
Hey,
and you're the prey.
I got one too.
And you lying. You ain't never met Dr. Martin Luther King.
Yeah, I found it. I've been looking for that. I got
it up. Yeah, we got to build it up. We're going to build it up, Joe.
Yeah. So, for the first video, once again, young man, be smarter. You were stupid. Yeah, you got to be smarter. Whoever, and the other young men in the video, they stupid too, because they allowed you to put them in a bad situation. So y'all got to be smarter. To Jew Almighty, Jew Almighty, he young. He don't understand. I could tell he don't understand. I've watched enough of his videos. I watched this whole video. I watched several videos of his. He young, man. He young. So yeah. You gotta learn. But that goes back to what I was saying earlier. I had a chance to actually learn from master teachers. Like I wasn't a person who just learned off the internet. Like I was learning from real black psychologists, like people who are like the president of AB Psi. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sitting at the feet of these masters who said like Dr. Kobe K.K. Cambone was actually my professor. He was my father's mentor. So I actually, that's one of the differences that I keep trying to tell people is, and that's why I said earlier, even with this, like if you want to learn how to play soccer, and you want to be a great soccer player, you can't just get a random Negro off the side of the road who know how to kick a ball to teach you how to be a great soccer player. You just gonna be another random Negro off the side of the road who know how to kick a ball. But guess what you're not gonna be able to do is play soccer, especially not at no high level. You ain't gonna be the greatest of nothing on nobody real soccer field. So I don't understand why we think this knowledge and this intellectualism is any different. Like you need master teachers. Like master teachers actually serve a purpose. Now we need to get master teachers that about that business and about that action and about real action and about making real things change. But we are in a space to where elder generations have failed the younger generations, and anybody with a microphone can be a genius if you sound good and you make people feel good. But most of these people are not truly studied and are not truly guided. And that's one of the issues with the internet. The good thing, the best thing and the worst thing about the internet is everybody got a microphone. But not a lot of people got the wherewithal, the intelligence, the knowledge, and the understanding that goes with what they are trying to get across. So, yeah. So you know, on the level we coming from, we you know, his information works for some, but on a deeper level, yeah, we already know. So, but that's why we do what we do when we do what we do, how we do over here on the shows of Giants. So, Mr. Patrick Irvin is in the building, so y'all make sure y'all give a round of applause. Yeah. Professor Carlton Jones, you from Philly, but I'm gonna say wine like you from New Orleans. Y'all give me a round of applause. Yeah, man. And my name is Joseph, but the old people call me Josen Ward. Yeah, how we do what we do. So remember, hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share, come back to On the Shows with James every day at 1 p.m. We got fresh content, new information for you. Of course, we're going live every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. and every Saturday at 3:30. Shout out to Brother Terrence that was been going live with me on Tuesday nights. We've been getting it in. We having truthful conversations, critiquing our community, our black men and our black women, or black males and black females. We've been getting it in, and we know we on our 2-part series of what we call the Black Manhood training. So we're getting it right, talking some good stuff about black men, because we got to get better, because we've been soft. That's how you get videos and stuff like this. So yeah. So we gotta do better, man. I love y'all. PC, Pat, love y'all boys, man. I appreciate y'all. I love audience. I appreciate you all for y'all support. And we're gonna keep rocking, we're gonna keep rolling, we're gonna keep growing. So I see y'all on the other side. Peace out.